Since my Mr. Dapperton series, it seems that anarcho-capitalism dominates now the comment section on my little channel, beside of the 4 million people of course that point out that there are more than 200 Kekistanis out there. Yeah, of course. You see, Omega Realm Bands pointed out that someone will always be able to force you to do something that you don't want to do in one way or another, and I pointed out that a lot of people indeed want to be forced in a certain direction. You see, more people are followers than leaders, even for those of us who are used to lead ourselves, but also others find this, at least to a degree, repulsive and think that everybody wants to be his own master. But that's clearly not the case. I gave a quite short answer to that, but it got me thinking about the idea, is freedom a commodity? Can it be sold? So here we are. So let's revisit our hypothetical anarcho-capitalist system where everybody has freedom and full control over himself. First, let's clarify how people can bend the non-aggression principle. If someone goes to someone else and say, hit me, I give you a contract to state that you can hit me, and then he can hit him without violating the NAP. If the other says, hey, I give you $100 if you let me hit you, and the other side agrees, it's a contract, and still, it's not in violation against the NAP if he hits him. If someone asks to kill someone else, and the guy that got killed agrees, it's not a violation. If someone wants to be someone else's slave and agree to that, to the enslavement, the master can hold slaves without violating the NAP. A good example for that are the Roman gladiators who had to be slaves. The thing is that being a gladiator was quite a career, if done right, of course. So some people who were free but poor went into slavery and became an unfree but sometimes quite wealthy guy. Freedom is a commodity and will be traded if you allow it. The NAP is not violated if anyone starts with full freedom and can do with it whatever he wants. If he is not allowed to trade this away, would this violate the NAP? Discuss in the comments. I would predict that more people would trade their freedom for some kind of leadership than people want to remain unguided. And as I pointed out, it's valid that they trade freedom for someone else if they are completely free. The thing is that people will demand leadership until they have as much as they want. The provider of leadership, on the other hand, will not then stop to increase its power by gobbling up the freedom of his subjects. He will go on and take as much as he can. You end up with a system in which there is always more leadership than the people want, because the people will not immediately start to revolt against the leadership that took it away too far. The problem is, if you sold something pretty cheaply that is considered pretty valuable by the other, you will pay way more to get it back than what you got for it in the first place. Selling you freedom never pays off, and trying to buy it back is more or less always impossible. This is where the anarcho-capitalists come back into our mind, because this kind of revolution, this anarcho-capitalist revolution, could be a reset. But as I said before, this reset is just a reset, even if the state doesn't come back. And I would doubt that. But just for the sake of the argument, let's say the state never comes back. Hierarchies will come back, and some people will choose to be slaves, and a lot will choose to be servants. In other words, some people will die with less freedom as they had in the beginning, and others will end up with more because they bought freedom from others, because freedom is a commodity in a free society and everybody can do with that whatever he wants. The interesting question here is, what happens with this accumulated wealth, these accumulated freedoms, once the guy who does that dies? Can he inherit this stuff to someone else? If you allow people to give their freedom away, you end up with master slaves and states, or at least state-ish constructions where some are born with less freedom than others, because their ancestors made a good or a bad decision. If you don't allow them to trade their freedom, you're not really free. The simple truth is that we are different. One of these differences is that we don't value freedom all the same way. Some of us want freedom, some don't. And some want the freedom of others added to their own, which is not a problem as long as the heritage is not an issue. If anyone has only that, what he could get was because he was being faster or better or cleverer or strong or something like that. This all is not really an issue. It becomes an issue in the moment this power is transferred to someone who would never ever be able to accumulate this amount of wealth and get it just from his parents. Power, structure, and not even servitude is really a problem. The problem is when this stuff falls in the wrong hands, and the reason it does is more or less always because the competent person passes on his legacy to an incompetent person, mostly the children. Remember to comment your thoughts, like and share, and on my own behalf, thanks for the repeated messages that ask why I don't have a lot more subscribers. Well, my subscribers go up when you share this stuff, and I'm terrible in reaching your friends, but it seems that you are pretty great in it. If you want to help me, tell people the stuff I told you, share my stuff, this helps me really greatly, and be sure that I'm very grateful for each and every share done, because you are the reason that this channel is growing. And I just want to say thanks for that, guys, and have a wonderful day.